You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, first, I want to say thank you for doing the interview with me.
You're welcome.
Very kind of you. You're the only teacher that said yes.
Oh, no.
Okay, so the first question I have for you is, what's your educational background? Where did you come from, and where did you go to school and stuff like that?
I got my undergraduate degree in English from Southern Illinois University.
Okay.
My master's degree in education, English education, from University of Houston, and my PhD from University of Houston in English.
Okay, so you have your PhD too. So I think before the interview you told me that this wasn't your first choice. What was your first choice before English?
I started to major in genetics.
Wow, that's a big change.
And yeah, it is. And the reason why I didn't, during the time that I was graduating from school, they had no women in genetics, and they had no African American women.
Oh, wow.
And I remember the counselor said to me that, you probably won't get a job.
Uh-oh.
And I thought, okay, I need to go into something that I know that I'll always get a job. And I thought, oh, I know, they speak English in America, and I'll always have a job.
So that was the main reason why you switched?
That was the main reason.
Oh, okay. So that was basically the point where you decided to become a teacher?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So as same topic as being a teacher, what do you think is the most difficult part about being a teacher?
I think the most difficult part about being a teacher is finding the academic and the skills, finding what the students need to raise their academic skills.
Okay.
Yeah, and so you have to go where they are and make sure you bring them where they need to be. And
especially for different students, you're at different levels, so you have to find out.
Absolutely, and then some don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And then some do and don't have the ability, and then some just excel.
Yeah, okay. Was there ever a time, how long have you been teaching, first part, do you want to say?
Since 1974.
Okay, so you have a lot of experience. Was there ever a time where you worked for a school and you didn't agree with the curriculum? Is there something that you did about it?
Oh yeah.
Do you have an example?
I think more so now.
Yeah.
Because and I've taught in 5 different states too. And I've taught on several levels. And I remember when they started all of the testing, and I understand why they started the testing, because for a while students were not up to par, and they wanted to bring the students up to par.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, when I first started teaching in Texas, the students were like 2 grades behind where I was. Because my kids, what they were doing in 7th grade, my kids had done it in 5th. And they started the testing, but they've taken it too far now. And it's become where they're making sure they have the basic skills, but nothing else.
Okay, so the curriculums are more about the tests and not about anything else?
Yeah, and the teachers, it's not the teachers, they have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Part of your job.
Yeah.
So, since you have so much experience, what do you think makes a good teacher?
I pattern myself, I try to pattern
In your opinion.
Yeah, I try to pattern myself after teachers I thought who were excellent.
Okay.
And first thing, they knew their subject matters.
Okay.
And the intellect behind them. So I always wanted to read and know everything and be as smart as I could be.
Yeah.
Because it seems that's what made me want to learn. So that was the first thing. And then the second thing, you always have to put yourself into teaching.
Okay.
I'm not, you know this, I'm not the kind to just stand and lecture.
Yeah.
And I would be just as bored as you were if I were just standing there lecturing. So I try to bring the class alive without being...
Not just you talking and we're participating in what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so last question. What would you give a student that's going into education? What advice would you give them?
I guess the first advice that I would give, the first thing that I learned when I went into education, they teach you both things but education is a behavioral science, and when you get in the classroom, you do know your subject area, but the students don't act right. You know,
Okay.
they don't act like, you know,
You
like-
have to maneuver your way around what the students need.
well, not that, you have to learn the environment of the
Okay.
classroom, you have to learn how to interact. It's
So you're kind of going blind, like.
You are
for-
totally blind when you first come in because you've got all your stuff. You go, wow, I'm ready to go, and you're totally blind.
Yeah.
You're in the classroom, and these are people in there, and they have
So you're kind of like the
ideas.
students. You're adapting to each class. You're adapting to a different.
Always,
Okay.
always from the very beginning. From when every time I walk into a classroom, brand new, it's always nerves. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after all these years, you still have nerves after every class?
Oh yeah. Every class, because you don't know these people.
Yeah.
And you're in charge.
Yeah.
And so you got to make sure you do what you need to do.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was really nice.